intelligent life in the universe outside of Earth? It's an ancient question from early human societies to the past eras when a newscaster would sit up right here, like I'm doing with you now, and raise the question.
CBS reports UFO, friend, foe, or fantasy. Reported by CBS News correspondent Walter Cronkite.
Good evening. Reports of flying saucers are nothing new. From the beginning of recorded time, men have been seeing unexplainable things in the sky. And there's no reason to doubt they saw something.
They saw something. That Walter Cronkite report ultimately dismissed the prospect of alien life, but the question is gaining traction because of evidence like this.
Newly released video raising questions about the existence of UFOs.
The subject of unidentified flying objects has become a matter of national security.
If there's something out there that's bigger or faster and stronger, we've really got to answer that question.
What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
Obama putting his credibility on the line to say they really don't know what they are, which is different than spies asserting that they don't know something as a cover because they actually have some secret spaceships or technology. If you believe Obama, he's saying they see stuff they really don't understand, which brings us now to our special report on UFOs and the prospect of other intelligent life in the universe. These are topics the U.S. government tackled in an intelligence report, which included 150 instances of UFOs documented, including some on tape.
Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 miles to the west. Look at that thing, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating. Oh, got it! Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. Look at that, man. Look at it fly.
The spread of video cameras is also changing how society and the government deal with this. It is harder to dismiss anything that people really can see and share and then see with their own eyes. Back before video, there were similar reports that turned more on the credibility of the witness. So one person says they met an alien, that can be dismissed. But some reports had so many witnesses, it was hard to argue they all made it up. Back in 1952, you see the headline, "Flying objects near Washington spotted by pilots and radar. Air Force reveals reports of something, perhaps saucers." Well, here's a journalism tip. When perhaps saucers makes it into a New York Times headline, we really don't know what's going on. Perhaps saucers? Perhaps. There was also a report in the 60s, a whole town in Michigan saw glowing lights, large football shapes at low altitudes. And then there were some pictures, but basically only still ones at the time, like this. No real video to give you that in-person perspective. Now, in that Michigan incident, an investigator ultimately concluded that people's eyes were deceived and they were actually witnessing not alien life, but a kind of natural gas effect.
That I cannot prove in a court of law that marsh gas is the full explanation of these sightings. But it does appear to me extremely likely.
Now, that's what he thought was likely. As for the government, apart from what it may think or what it may have known, the New Yorker notes the larger context here, that in the Cold War, it was crucial the government be perceived to have control over its airspace. That logic continues. Most governments want to have that reputation. Now, they don't need to be in on some alien conspiracy or secrecy to take an approach that would discourage entertaining even the possibility of aliens. Now, those recent Navy pilots, they said they felt like they might lose credibility with their commanding officers if they made too big a deal out of these unexplainable sightings. And you could see why. Whether or not there is overwhelming evidence of UFOs, a sound approach to finding facts, be it in government or journalism or science, is to be open to possibilities based on evidence, not to ignorantly dismiss things or worry about mockery. So there are reasons to take this seriously. evidentiary reasons, national security reasons, and while tonight's story is about UFOs, it's about more than that. It collides with government secrecy and even arrogance, which can be counterproductive. Take, for example, this top-secret Air Force facility in Nevada. As far as the U.S. government was concerned, the place you're looking at here does not exist. But it does. It's Area 51. And that secrecy fed even more intrigue until the U.S. officially acknowledged it in 2013, spurred partly by the top Democrat in Congress at the time, Senator Harry Reid, who was pushing for more transparency. He wanted the U.S. and the government here to take these issues on, to fund UFO research. And that approach to the issue also started to change as the videos made these sightings more mainstream. And the research that leaders like Senator Reid were advocating for fed to the idea that maybe this is a legitimate area to explore. Then you have more reports, like the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program, which the Times revealed in this investigation and released those tantalizing videos.
Dude, there's a going on, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Yeah, look at that thing, dude. And those kind of sightings occurred reportedly almost daily in 2014. The witnesses have also spoken out.
I said, dude, do you see that thing down there? And we saw this little white tic-tac looking object, and it's just kind of moving above the whitewater area.
I was in a government aircraft because I was on the clock. And so I feel a responsibility to share what I can, and it is unclassified.
So this is a difficult one to explain. You have rotation, you have high altitudes, you have propulsion, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is, frankly.
Now, even longtime veterans of the U.S. government still seem to want to sidestep this in public, though.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Biden on the Obama comments, and politicians generally want to avoid headlines about UFOs, partly because our culture and, frankly, much of our media just turns it into a conspiracy or some kind of joke. But for all the intelligence and technology and weaponry in our government, aren't high-ranking government officials the people who might know more, who might be able to level with us on whether to just reject this for some good reasons or take it more seriously as a prospect? What does the CIA really think about all this? Well, its former director, John Brennan, turned some heads as he raised the prospect of activity that he says might, quote, constitute a different form of life.
Some of the phenomena we might be seeing continues to be unexplained and might, in fact, be some type of phenomenon that is the result of something that we don't yet understand and that could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life.
A different form of life. That's not nothing coming from a CIA director. But now here's the thing. The democratization of video does also cut both ways. If everybody from Navy pilots to kids have cell phone cameras, why aren't we getting any better, closer footage? Why have all the historical accounts of actual alien beings who land on Earth and talk to people? Where have those gone? Why does the UFO phenomenon close to the land seem to dry up with virtually no videos showing that? As the technology to record grows by leaps and bounds, skeptics ask, why do these so-called phenomena take their own leaps away from our cameras? Isn't that a little odd or convenient? Neil deGrasse Tyson brings his scientific lens to all this. He has publicly asked, why do UFO believers demand everyone accept these videos that remain grainy, far off, over the water, and far away from most cities?
I'm thinking if we were being visited, somebody would have some good footage. If we were being visited, I'm thinking maybe Google satellite images would catch spaceships that are not airplanes moving on our surface. If we were being visited, I'm thinking we'd have something better than fuzzy monochromatic video of objects that apparently reveal themselves only to Navy pilots, right? All of what has been put forth as evidence for aliens, to me, is insufficient evidence to excite my interest, my research interest in devoting time to finding it out.
Now, that new Pentagon report says most UFOs are unexplained, with suspicious flying objects that move against the wind at considerable speed. Pentagon exploring several explanations, while experts ask if some of these are maybe from China or Russia. Bottom line, there are three main theories of the case here. One, these are natural phenomena that look unusual but just aren't from aliens. Two, like Area 51, this is some kind of secret tech from some government, but not alien. Imagine finding an iPhone prototype in 1990. You might wonder if it's from outer space. It was actually from the near future. And then there's the big one, the theory that some people have witnessed alien technology, and that technology gets harder to detect as our own human technology improves its ability to record it. Which is it? This is not a drill.